Greetings, everyone. I am your humble, regular Tuesday host, Dr. Edmund Ike. I am here to host my usual show, Nigerian Constitution and Your Right. Nigerian Constitution and Your Right. It's a show powered by the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Nigerian time, 3 p.m. US Central Time, or 4 p.m. US Eastern Time. It's a show that dissect the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended and help to educate Nigerians to understand what is contained in it and to empower them to be able to understand what a government does, what is the role of a government, and what is the role of a citizen, how the citizen can hold the government accountable. Because if you understand the role of a government, then you know, okay, they are not delivering, and then you are informed to hold them accountable. But if you don't even know what the government is supposed to do, you will not be able to accountable. You need for you to understand what is the role of government. And then today, we're going to be focused on the legislative branch of government. The legislative branch of government, and that is our focus, and this is covered in section the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. Can you mute yourself for a minute? Well,
call this boy making.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so we're going to be talking about the legislative powers, okay, of the legislative branch of government. All right, so that is going to be our focus today, and I have my my good barrister Joseph joining me in the presentation. So over to you, the good barrister. Can you say hello to our audience in Nigeria and all over the world?
Yeah. Thank you once again for having me, Dr. Ike, and my greetings to all Nigerians within the country and outside the country, and all across, and every other person across the globe.
Thank you. Thank you. It's always good to have you on the show. You've always been wonderful and gracious with your time, and I truly, truly appreciate it. If I haven't said it enough, I'll keep saying it. I truly appreciate your time. So thank you for being here, for always bringing your best to the show.
Always.
And as I said during my introduction, we are focusing on the legislative branch of government. You know, with three branches of government: the executive branch, which is the president in the federal level, and the governors in the state level, and the chairman in the local government level. And then we'll have the legislative branch, which comprises of the senators, and which is the upper house, and the House of Representatives, which is the lower house. Both of these units form the National Assembly. And then we'll have the judicial branch, which is headed by the courts. Mostly, I don't know if I'm correct here. If I'm wrong, you correct me because you know this better than me. The courts, there's the Federal High Court and the Supreme Court. I'm not sure if I'm correct. Is it the Federal High Court and the Supreme Court that make up the judicial branch of government?
Yeah, all the superior court. Anything about just something to do with the judiciary, the entire judiciary.
Okay. So that makes up the judicial branch of government. So, but today we are focusing primarily on the legislative branch and their powers, what they do, what they are supposed to do, so that you should know what they're supposed to do and you can judge, are they doing it properly? Are they doing it right? And if they're not doing it right, you as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, what will you do to hold them accountable? That is the core of today's conversation. So over to you, the good barrister. We have 109 senators and 360 House of Rep members. Isn't this numbers humongous? Or in your opinion, or do you think it's quite a good amount of numbers for the size of our country? Let's start with that.
Well, the number is not a problem to me, Dr. Ike.
Okay.
The problem is in the quality of the people. It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. So even if we have 200 members who are doing the right thing, nobody will complain. If we have 500 House of Representative members and they are doing the right thing, nobody will complain. You know, so I, for one, I'm not even looking at the number. The number is not a problem to me. It might be a problem to any other person, but my problem is in the quality of the people we have elected into our houses of assembly. You know, so does a senator from my own senatorial district, does he really understand the true meaning of separation of powers? Does he truly understand the powers of a legislature? Does he really understand the true functions of a legislature? You know, so these are the problems. So it's not about the number, it's about the quality of the people. What mindset do they have when they go there? You know, so that's the number is not a problem. The problem is the problem lies in the quality of the people we are sending to our National Assembly.
Thank you very much. You are focused on quality, not number. But why I first of all ask the question about number is because there is a movement, albeit weak movement, which is a movement nonetheless that are asking for, let us scrap the Senate. Let's just have the House of Representatives, or maybe let's just have a single parliament, a parliamentary system to cut down cost of governance. So yes, quality is good, but the quantity we have, is it good for the kind of country we have? A poor country, maybe we're rich resources, but Nigeria is really a poor country if you look at our GDP, and if you look at the PPP, like the per capita, and also if you look at the Human Development Index, we are a poor country. So for such a poor country operating humongous costs of paying salaries and emoluments and gratuities to all the senators and allowances to senators and the House of Rep members. So that is why I'm asking the number. Is the number too much for our country? We're look at our country, Nigeria. Is the number of senators too much, based on the amount of resources poured in, paying them allowances and so on and so forth? I want you to tackle that angle.
Yeah, I agree with you that the cost of governance in Nigeria is quite high. And you can clearly see that from our budget, whether across the state or across the federal government ourselves. You see that our recurrent expenditure oftentimes is over and above or outweighs our capital expenditure. So that is to tell you that the cost of governance is high. But who is saddled with the responsibility of cutting down the cost of governance? It is still the legislators. The question is, are they ready to do it? So these are the issues. So the problem is we can reduce the number, Dr. Ike, yes. But if we don't change the mindset of the people who will go there, we will still have the same problem. The problem of Nigeria is not about resources, or is not about manpower. It's about the quality of the minds of Nigeria, of the people who we are electing. And until we begin to get it right, from a clear-cut conversation that, look, the first problem to tackle is the problem bedeviling us. And what's the problem bedeviling us? Our mode of selection of leaders. What criteria do we look at? These are the conversation we will have to, first of all, engage ourselves in, to first of all solve the primary problem, to first of all solve the major ailments. Because we can go ahead cut down the cost of, the number of legislators, but we have only treated the symptoms, you know? So the major problem here is not about resource. It's about the quality of the people, their pedigree, their mindset. Are they patriotic? That's the problem we have. We don't have patriotic citizens. Perhaps maybe we have, but when it comes to the kind of leaders who are leading us, are they really leading with a patriotic mindset? That is the problem. So when we talk of pay cut for legislators, they should be able to own up to say, no, this is too much for us as individuals. We will slash it down by this. But how many of them are willing to do that? You know, so these are the problems. So for me, the primary problem we need to first of all solve is the quality, the mode of selection of our leaders and the quality of the people we are selecting first. When we select quality people to represent us.
With your approach now, so
yes,
the leaders are the secondary problem here. The primary problem is the people that do the selection, which is the citizens, because it's the citizens that have to select the representatives. The representatives do not select themselves. So the representatives do not select them. It is the citizens that select the representative. So the citizens have to take their role seriously, have to take their responsibility, their civic responsibility seriously, and do their due diligence in looking for who are the right people that have the right quality you are talking about to get into the seat of the legislative government, and then do the right things and making the right laws and right legislations for the betterment of the nation. So now, for the people to be able to do this, for the people to be able to know what to look for, to select the right leaders, to select the right quality senators, quality House of Rep members, they need to understand what is the duties, the roles, or what is the qualification. You know, when you're applying for a some job in the application, they say, okay, this is what and what we are looking for the applicant, right? So in this case, the Constitution have what we should be looking for as whoever is applying to be a senator, whoever is applying to be House of Rep member. Our Constitution have outlined what is required. So I would like you to give Nigerians a breakdown. I know you started in our last pre-recorded session. You tried to give a brief summary of what the House of Assembly members do or are supposed to be doing. So this is what we're talking about, mostly the House of Assembly member or the legislative branch of government. So can you take as much time as you need to give a better, robust summary of what Nigerians, because this show is to empower Nigerians to do what is right in getting the right people into government so that we can have the right people leading us and the right people making the right laws for us. So what should Nigerians be looking out for in selecting the right quality legislators?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, it is not just the leaders that are guilty of this alone, we, the followers, also have our own large or fair share of the blame.
Yes.
And this is very simple. Simple because Section 14 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has clearly stated that the primary duty of government is the life and security of every citizen of this country is the primary duty of government. That is one. Secondly, the fundamental objectives and direct principles of state policies. If you read from Section 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, down to 21, it clearly states all the duties, the social contracts the people are supposed to have with their leaders. Now, if you go to Section 4, which borders on the function of the legislative powers of the House of Assemblymen or the National Assembly members, either the Senate or the House of Representatives. Now, we as followers are supposed to begin to ask our leaders, what will you do? What is your pedigree? What is the level of your community engagement? How well do you understand the dynamics of the country? What is the level of your academic attainment? What is the level of your academic or intellectual exposure? These are very pertinent questions we, the followers, are supposed to be asking. If you are going into the State House of Assembly or House of Representatives or a Senate or even a councillor at the local government level, do we ask these people what is the function, what do they think is the main function of a legislature? Or do we just demand from them pieces of wrappers, cubes of Maggies, bags of salt, or cartons of dry fish, or motorcycles, or generator sets, which are things that will not serve our immediate need? You give somebody generator where there is no power, and it is there in the concurrent legislative list of a state house of the Constitution for the State House of Assembly to also enact law that will give powers to the executive to generate electricity. Do we ask this question? And I enjoin all followers, all the citizens of Nigeria to begin to ask these pertinent questions. It is beyond a person seeking to be in the National Assembly or in the State House of Assembly or as a councillor coming to share pieces of wrappers and cubes of Maggies and all of that. I consider that as taking advantage. But we should begin to engage our legislators on issues. What will they do? What kind of law will they make? Every day we are talking about climate change and nobody seems to be talking about it, but is coming close to us. Is it the issue of gender-based violence or the issues of economy? These are the issues we are supposed to be engaging our legislature on. For us to understand their level of intellectual capacity, their level of exposure, their level of understanding the business in which they are seeking to go for. These are questions we as followers should be asking persons who are seeking various offices. There are so many issues. But if we don't engage them, issues of budgets, how many of our legislators understand the issues around our budgets? Some of them simply don't know. Take, for instance, in my own state, Benue State, we have a law called the Construction Law of Benue State, 2004, right? Which law, which section 4 of that law has empowered every legislator, every state House of Assembly member to nominate one feeder road in his constituency to be included in the budget. How many of them know? Do we ask them these questions? You know, so imagine if a legislator is nominating one feeder road from his constituency throughout his 4-year cycle or 8-year cycle, he must have nominated 4 feeder roads or 8 feeder roads, as the case may be. Imagine the economic effect of that. These are the issues we should be engaging our legislators on. Issues of budget, issues of economy, issues of socio-economic well-being, and all of that. These are the issues we should be engaging them.
If they come to share money to us, let us ask them, where have they gotten that money from us, from that they are coming to share? You know, so these are the issues. So beyond collecting the wrappers, the cubes of maggots, the pieces of wrappers, and the bags of salt and the cartons of dry fish from them, let us engage them in this conversation. Only then we can understand the true social contract we have with our leaders, so that we can begin to ask them questions. We can begin to checkmate them, so that tomorrow they will know that as a sitting senator, if you don't perform, the people will withdraw their mandates. These are the things.
Thank you. Thank you very much, good barrister. All right, I'm just gonna, this section first, a little bit long, so I'm just gonna read a few points from it. Then I'll say one or two things, and I'll give you the floor to give a closing remark and wrap up. This is a short session. All right, Section 4 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, says the legislative powers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be vested in a National Assembly of the Federation, who shall consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives. So this National Assembly shall have powers to make laws for peace, order, and good government of the Federation or any part thereof, with respect to any matter included in the exclusive legislative list set out in Part 1 of the second schedule to this Constitution. The power of the National Assembly to make law for the peace, order, and good government of the Federation with respect to any matter included in the exclusive legislative shall, save as otherwise provided in this Constitution, be to the exclusion of the House of Assembly of States. In addition to, without prejudice to the power conferred by the Section 2 of this section, the National Assembly shall have power to make laws with respect to the following matters, that is to say, any matter in the concurrent, any matter empowered to make law in accordance with the provision of the Constitution, if any law enacted by the Assembly of a state is inconsistent with a law vividly made by the National Assembly, that law made by the National Assembly shall prevail. So that shows out the National Assembly supersedes the State House Assembly. That's essentially what that is saying. So that is the gist of the matter. It's longer, it shows go on and on and on. But I think the good barrister gave a very wonderful summary. And I hope you as Nigerians living in Nigeria, because you are the one that is most directly affected compared to me living outside Nigeria. So you need to pay close attention to what your lawmakers are doing now, that you know that is inconsistent to the summary that Barrister Joseph gave, or to the extra that I just read out to you, the power to make laws for peace and good governance, And what they're doing is, does it translate to good governance? If it doesn't translate to good governance, that means they don't know what they're doing, or they don't know what they're supposed to do. And it's your responsibility as citizens to get people that understand what to do and that know how to do what they're supposed to do, and then elect them into office to get it done. So make sure you take your civic responsibility seriously as you continue to move forward as a good citizen of the country going forward. And we are in campaign season, so pay attention to the campaigns of those senators or House of Rep members as you go into this campaign season, and make sure you root for the right people and attend town hall meetings. Some good candidates organize town hall meetings, but who attends these town hall meetings? Obviously, the bad ones who does not have interest in the people do not have town halls. They are prepared with their money to buy votes. Those are not the people you want. You want people that organize town halls so that you can go to those town halls, hear what they have to say, and you ask them questions, and you give them the ideas of what is needed in your locality, in your state, in whatever senatorial zone they are seeking a seat on, or whatever constituency they are looking to snatch a seat on. So these are what you're supposed to keep doing as a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as a good citizen that care about your future, the future of your children, and the future of our generation after that. I'll yield the floor to the good barrister to give a closing remark, and we'll end the show. Over to you, barrister.
Yes, I think at this point, I will leave our viewers, our listeners, with these words from the great emperor of Ethiopia, the great Menelik II, when the Italians came to capture Ethiopia and colonize them at the battle called the Battle of Adowa in 1896. Menelik rose up and said, "Fellow Ethiopians, the enemies have come to take over our land. Those of you who have powers, allow yourself to be conscripted into the army. Those of you who are weak, offer in your prayers." We're heading to 2023 general election. And I'm calling on every fellow Nigerian. So please, to close their minds, to close their eyes and open their mind and see through the soul of Nigeria, that soul of the country is bleeding. And it's only when we use our finger thumbs or our thumb to vote in people who will do the right thing, people who will make laws, most especially the legislators, or make laws to promote the peace and good governance of this country. Let us look at the pedigree of these leaders very well and vote according to conscience, irrespective of political party, on the basis of competence, on the basis of integrity, and on the basis that this person will provide good governance for the country. That is all what we need. So I call on every Nigerian, both weak, old, young, strong. Let us rise and save the soul of this country from bad leadership.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Barrister Joseph. So this is where we wrap up for today's session. This is a pre-recorded session, as you have noticed. That was why you don't have live comment session. So, but that does not mean you should not comment or join the conversation. When this will upload this video, when you watch it, go down the comment section, share your ideas. I do come back to the comment section and try to interact with you in the comment sections so that we can interact as brothers and sisters, as Nigerians who want the better country, and we can build a better country. Nigeria is not doomed, as some people may think. Nigeria can be better if we all join hands together to build a better country. Once again, this show is powered by the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Nigerian time, or 3 p.m. US Central Time, or 4 p.m. US Eastern Time. Thank you for watching, and keep watching, keep coming back every Tuesday, and share, like the show, and always be part of it. Thank you very much, and this is where I leave you. Have a good one.